It's been close to 365 days since Alabama was embarrassed as number one team in the country. Why should we feel so much better about this Saturday?
You are Locked On Bama, your daily podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back into Locked On Bama, AHSA Radio Network's Luke Robinson. That's me. Alabama internet legend Jimmy Stein. That's him. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. We'll talk about FanDuel in just a little bit. I want to thank you every day for being here every day. Thank you, newbies, for being here today. And thanks to everybody for making us your first listen every single day. You guys are the best. We say that all the time, and we mean it. We love you. Jimmy, you and I were talking. We always talk briefly, like, okay, where do we go today? And it's like, why should we feel better about this year Bama-Vandy versus last year Bama-Vandy? Now, let's remember, going into Bama-Vandy last year, we weren't worried about a dang thing. I can't remember exactly what the spread was, but it had to be 20-something.
It was up there. I don't remember either, but it was probably a typical Alabama-Vanderbilt spread with Alabama coming off that big win.
And they had lost to Georgia State, maybe?
They lost to Georgia State.
Yeah.
So I think it was typical. I think it was before everyone really embraced the idea or the concept that Vanderbilt was now a quality SEC football team.
Okay. And if you want me to give you the easy answer as to why Bama should feel better, first of all, we're playing at home. Mm-hmm. Secondly, it happened last year. What happened last year happened. So you automatically are like, okay, surely to God, we're not going to take them for granted again. My retort to that would be Georgia probably says the same thing over and over again, just like the Washington Generals say the same thing about playing the Harlem Globetrotters. Ain't no way you're going to beat us again, And then what do? We just beat Georgia every time we play them, essentially. And look, I know it's different. I know it's all different. But while we have the learning curve of the experience of being upset and being humiliated and the laughing stock of the college football world, while wearing still, which was one of the worst Alabama coaching outfits I've ever seen in my life, the black hoodie I'm down with. The black hoodie's fine. The red one with the short sleeves, last year that was bad. And again, as I tell everybody, buy your size clothes. Don't go down a size. If anything, go up a size. But
it's excellent fashion. Excellent locked on fashion.
Just locked on fashion for you. But Vandy's better too. Vandy's got more experience now than they probably had last year. And they've got Stowers, who might be the best tight end in the league. I think that's very fair to say. You got Pavia, who might be the best player in the league. I feel weird and a little bit dirty and disingenuous saying that, but hell, it might be right.
Well, think about this. I think if you ask Alabama fans what scares you most about Pavia, they're all going to tell you it's the athleticism. Everyone's going to tell you that without it. Maybe people don't recall this. Against Alabama last season with his arm, 16 of 20 for 236 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. And when we fear his legs, 16 of 20 for 236. Oh, and here's good news. He's an even better passer this year. His passing numbers are through the roof this year. He's averaging over 236 yards per game. The fact is, Vanderbilt's a very balanced offense under Pavia. They're not a one-trick pony at all. If you over-defend the run, they will burn you. He burned Alabama last year, making more plays with his arms and his legs. He averages around 60 yards a game on the ground, which is impressive for a quarterback, but that's not going to kill you, 60 yards a game. It's the fact that he's capable of torching you with his legs or his arms. He doesn't use both arms. He actually only throws it with
That's how he threw it.
That's no wonder he's hard to defend. Rolls right, throws righty, rolls left, throws lefty. Somebody's going to do that one day and be one heck of a weapon. But Pavia is ridiculously good. Doesn't make many mistakes. And I fully anticipate this being a 60-minute game that's close in the fourth quarter. and it's going to be a game that looks like last year. I think Vanderbilt is just a bad matchup for Alabama, highlighted by the very fact that they run the ball extremely well as a team. Alabama does not defend the run well, particularly this style of run. And when you overcook your defense to account for the run, that's when Pavia gets really dangerous. So I'm expecting Vanderbilt to score quite a bit on Saturday, and it is incumbent upon Alabama to match the scores, which I believe they will do. But I see Saturday as being uncomfortable for Alabama. I'm going to predict on the prediction show later this week that Alabama wins this game. But I do think it's going to be a little uncomfortable, and it's about the matchup, not about the Alabama brand versus the Vanderbilt brand.
Yeah, and that's where I think NIL may eventually creep in there and change the way we look at a lot of this in terms of the branding side. I'm still not on board with. I've heard some national people say, "Well, this NIL has made everything, it made everybody more equal." I mean, I think yes, in a way, no, in a way, but I don't think it's quite as big a deal yet as it will be in the future once everybody figures it out. But I mean, I'm looking at last year, and if you just look at the stats from last year, it kind of doesn't make a lot of sense. Vanderbilt had 26 first downs, we had 17, and I bet you 3 or 4 of those first downs came on their final drive when they just ate the clock up.
That's right.
Total yards was essentially even. Passing yards, we beat them out a little bit. Rushing yards, they doubled us up, essentially. But they had 54 rushing attempts. We had 21. They only averaged 3 yards a play, but I think that's what they wanted to do is like, if we just average 3 yards a play, we're going to beat them.
Consistently got them to third down. For as bad as people think the defense was, and it was bad, Alabama consistently got them to third down. They just consistently converted. And it was so frustrating. Biggest play in the game was their 1 of 1 on fourth down conversions, the 4th down and 1, where they threw a touchdown pass when a player got behind.
It has to be the highlight of that, whoever that guy was, highlight of his career.
And beating Malachi Moore, who sort of busted on the play a little bit. And Vanderbilt did everything right. I think it's going to look a lot like that again. I see methodical, slow, time-consuming drives by Vanderbilt that eat up a lot of clock and eventually lead to scores. And I see Alabama matching those scores, but in more quick strike, sexy fashion in terms of making SportsCenter top 10 type plays to Ryan Williams, to Jeremy Bernard, maybe even a throw to Caden Proctor. That would be fun. Again, I can see Alabama doing those things and matching their scores. I do think Alabama will win the game because of one thing. There is a big change regarding Alabama, and that is clean football. Fewer penalties to the opponent for the first time in the DeBoer era last week. That's a shocking stat. The stat of the game last year against Vanderbilt may have been the 2 turnovers. Without the 2 turnovers, Alabama won the game last year. This Alabama team has not turned the ball over at all. They turned it over twice in the Vandy game alone last year. I think reducing or minimizing penalties to near zero and not turning over the ball, that will win the game for Alabama. But it's going to be uncomfortable because they're going to have a lot of success on the ground and in the air. As Alabama adjusts to stopping the ground attack, they will adjust and make plays through the air. They have the best pass receiving tight end in the SEC in Eli Stowers. They have a quality back in Cedric Alexander. We'll talk about their best players in the next segment. But Vanderbilt is not the Diego Pavia and nothing else show. They've got SEC dudes.
What a terrible name for a show, too.
Well, unless you're Diego Pavia. And by the way, I don't want there to be a Vanderbilt guest picker for College Game Day. I get upset like everybody else when that happens. But shouldn't Pavia's brothers be the guest pickers? That would be the best show.
Theo Vaughn would be another good one. I mean, because he's the one with the whole go out with his mama thing. And Theo Vaughn's sort of like honest to God, he's one of those people that's famous for being famous, I guess. I mean, because one day everybody was just talking about Theo Vaughn. I was like, I still don't know what he does. I don't mean that mean because he's apparently made $1 gazillion, so kudos. But I'm just saying, like, it's sort of like that time I met Drewski, and my kids were like, "You met Drewski?" And I'm like, "Who's Drewski?" But I had a picture with him. I don't know, whatever.
I'm still waiting. I mean, I could be wrong because again, I'm old. I could be wrong. I'm still waiting for someone to let me know that Theo Vaughn is fun. Is he funny?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I
I do know the Diego Pavia's mom story to talk about last night on SEC Network. She's a pretty lady, by the way.
Yeah, she is a pretty lady. And a friend of mine from Alex City, who big Auburn fan, but she lives in Nashville now. She was out. She saw Diego Pavia's mom at the last home Vanderbilt game. Lyndon Blake, really nice girl, and like a reporter in Nashville now. She does a great job. But I think she's sort of become a de facto Vanderbilt fan. You don't have a lot of people that switch over from whatever they were to a Vandy fan. But
if it's happened in the past year.
Yeah. So the one other thing before we talk about Vandy's MVPs in the next segment. So I'm looking at, again, you mentioned this third down efficiency last year. You know what? Alabama was 3 of 6. That's a very small number of third downs.
Because Alabama wasn't getting the third down.
I know.
They were streaking down the field.
Or turning it over.
Alabama scored 2 points for every 1 minute of possession time.
Well, then Vandy was 12 of 18, which is an incredibly efficient third down conversion rate.
Went Alabama 13 of 19 last week against Georgia. So it was really the same game. So
it's a hair better. Yeah.
Same numbers. And I think it's going to look like that again. And hey, I hope I'm wrong. There is nothing more than I want to be wrong, because Kane Womack worked all summer on this. That's what he needed to work on all summer. And they came up with a plan, and they've been working on executing it. And Alabama shuts Vandy down. I would love it. It would be the best sign possible that the program is making headway in returning to dominance.
And then
see it to believe it.
And then 2 other quick notes. Of course, last year, 2 things that got us. Number one, that when we did stop them, they made a touchdown on 4th down on an unbelievable catch and a pass where he was falling backwards essentially, and they just made it. Good play. And Malachi Moore busted. And then we also were going to receive a punt, and we had 2 guys with the same number out there.
Without that one giant mistake happen, I don't think Alabama wins the game. If
not only
two players on the field at the same time, same number, if that doesn't happen, Alabama wins. The pick six, if that doesn't happen, Alabama wins. The fumble, if that doesn't happen, Alabama wins.
The time of possession was 42 minutes to 18 minutes, essentially, and the turnovers were 2-0. Now, here's the thing. Everybody's worried about Vanderbilt, and they should be. Those numbers aren't going to be duplicated. I feel quite confident in saying that. God, I hope those numbers aren't duplicated. Like, I feel confident, but I'm not Jimmy Stein guaranteeing it. Tell you what I will Jimmy Stein guarantee, and that's that Mazda crafts cars for those who do more than simply move. Mazda delivers confidence with every ride, with more IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus awards than anyone else as of August 2025. From footwork to breathwork, athletes sweat all the details. Mazda brings this same intention to how we craft every single model of our cars. You can feel the Japanese craftsmanship and area detail, from the metallic accents to available Napa leather upholstery. Like our players over here at Bama, we sweat every detail at Mazda, because when you make every move count, impossible becomes irrelevant. Mazda, move, and then you want to be moved, right, Jimmy?
I want to be moved.
Guaranteed. Monarch Money. I love Monarch Money. They've helped me so much. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. And you know what? Tables are expensive these days. That's why there's Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or on your phone. Monarch is built for people with busy lives. If you've put off organizing your finances, Monarch is for you. Monarch does the heavy lifting for you. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. Don't let financial opportunity slip through the cracks. Use code LockedOnCollege at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LockedOnCollege, all one word. Code LockedOnCollege, all one word at Monarch Money. Jimmy Stein guaranteed. So Vandy MVPs easiest thing in the world to say Diego Pavia. I mean, he really has sort of changed the culture. He is Johnny Manziel light, and I think there's no coincidence that he's patterned his game after Johnny Manziel. He loves Johnny Manziel, and Johnny Manziel needs somebody to love him right now. And so he is latched on to Diego Pavia too, and he'll be on the sidelines this weekend. Ballsy move. It's ballsy of any team to bring somebody else down. I mean, like when Tennessee has Peyton Manning come on the sidelines at Bryant-Denny, it's a little ballsy. It's a little like, hey, yeah, we're just going to bring this guy in. What are you going to do about it? And of course, we want to let him in. But Tennessee can do it because they're Tennessee. If Vandy ever wanted to invite anybody, we'd be like, we don't really want y'all here. So no, you can't invite anybody. But now Vandy's got a little clout, and he's going to bring a little swagger. I'm here for it because I would like to exercise a Johnny Manziel demon as well as Diego Pavia demon in one fell swoop.
Yeah, boy, with Manziel being there and it being so high profile, I'm sure Game Day is going to talk about that 2012 game 1,000 times. And so get ready for that. Pavia, to me, is different than Manziel in many ways. He's alike in some ways and different in many ways. But yeah, I'm with you that he's a culture changer. Manziel, it really felt like changed A&M in the time he was there, for better or for worse. He sort of changed them. Pavia is changing Vanderbilt clearly for all better. But he's not the only good player. Look, the reason Vanderbilt is having continued success in the SEC, and can you believe I'm saying that sentence and meaning it, is because they're more than Pavia. It can't just be one guy. Cedric Alexander, the running back, excellent. He's averaging over 5 yards a carry. Excellent player. They got two receivers in Richardson and Sherrill who are good players. They got the best tight end in the whole league in Eli, who's an absolute matchup problem for everyone and had a huge game against Alabama a year ago. Got to change
best in the country? Is he best in the country? I mean, that's an honest
maybe
question.
As a pass receiving tight end, very probably. As a pass receiver, as an H, yes. As an inline blocker, probably not. But he's going to get his NFL opportunity. They have a pass rusher named Miles Capers. A lot of people are unfamiliar with him. Not even transfer portal guy. I think he's a fifth-year senior at Vanderbilt. Has like a whopping 7.5 tackles for loss and 3.5 sacks. We're not even halfway done with the season. Miles Capers, a 6'5", 250-pound pass rusher. Again, 7.5 tackles for loss, 3.5 sacks. But let me tell you, I think this is because I think Alabama fans will understand this. When Keanu Coote was here every year in the offseason, whether it was the Saban staff or the DeBoer staff, we would hear on and off the record around like they love Coote, that physically he's one of the most impressive. Oh gosh, immunity.
Please say that again.
They love Keanu. Not the movie star. They love Keanu.
I'm sorry.
So you would hear this every year in the offseason, that he was one of the most impressive guys they have, and that this was going to be his breakout season. And then it never really happened. And now he's in his final year and he transfers to Vanderbilt. Let me tell you, in previous years, if a Keanu, and I'm staying away from the KOHT part. If Keanu transfers to Vanderbilt in previous years, he's like their best athlete on defense, their best player. This guy was rumored at times to have been, he's going to be one of Alabama's best players. Never really happened for him. But if this guy going to Vanderbilt 6 years ago, I'd have been telling you all the entire offseason, you watch, Keanu will be their best player. Guess what? He doesn't even start. He's not even a starting player there. Why? Because they have dudes. They have dudes at all the positions. It's not easy to get in Vanderbilt's lineup anymore. They have good players at all three levels of defense. The defense is just behind Alabama in terms of total. I think Alabama's 4th in the SEC in total defense. Vanderbilt's 5th. Vanderbilt's 2nd in the league against the run, which is really scary because Alabama's not good at running the ball. I think Alabama's 14th out of 16 teams running the ball. So Vanderbilt is a lot more than Diego Pavia. People will make it a serious mistake if they just think, oh, this whole Vandy thing is Pavia. No, they're good. They're good at every position group, and it's a legitimate SEC football team rolling into Alabama. Forget the brands. This matchup is about scheme, play calling, and adjustments like they are in every other SEC football matchup.
It feels like all I'm trying to do is be contrarian to everything you say, and I think that's how we should do it. If we're going to co-host, I should like go against your stuff, you go against my stuff, and let's just see what comes out in the wash. But I think everything you said is right.
We'll have a government shutdown.
We have a lockdown shutdown. No, we're going to keep going. So I agree with everything you say. I love Eli Stowers. I got him in my college football fantasy football league. I think he's great. People laughed at me when I drafted him. I was like, have y'all seen this dude? He's fantastic. So I think he's very good. Obviously, Pavia is like the dude. We had 4 people call into our show last night that we do on Tuesday nights locally. None of them said Diego Pavia correctly, which was also hilarious. One of them was like, what's his name? Drago Pavia. And I was like, no, I'm pretty sure that's who fought Rocky. But regardless.
This dude could pull that off too.
Yeah, he could. But here's the thing. I think it is worth saying this. Alabama's played ULM, clearly not a good team. They've played Florida State, clearly a pretty good team, at least much better than everybody thought. The loss to Virginia notwithstanding. Wisconsin, not a very good team, but a Power 4 team, and Georgia, who is a very good team. Vandy has played Charleston Southern. Utah State is the best team record-wise Vandy's played. They played a Virginia Tech team that had quit 100% and a South Carolina team that had lost its best player and basically went in the toilet right after that, and some other dump truck team I can't even remember. I could make the argument that 3 of Alabama's 4 opponents are better than anybody that Vanderbilt has played. So while I'm not trying to discount Vanderbilt, because I respect them, I'm worried about them. They beat us last year. They get all that credit. At the same time, it's fair to say they hadn't done a whole lot this year. So you can take some of their stats and discount them completely. Now, if they come into Tuscaloosa and they match statistically what they've been doing, I'm going to be shocked. In fact, I'm going to be ticked because I don't think they should do that. We're clearly the best team they've played, and they're playing them at our place on a revenge game basis. This should be a game we win regardless of coming down from a high of beating Georgia and Athens.
I think a real bad take in this game, I think. Now, others will disagree. Maybe this is one of these things we can disagree on. But I think a bad take is last year, Vanderbilt won because Alabama didn't take the game seriously. And this year, Alabama's going to take it seriously, so they'll kill Vanderbilt. The reason why I think that's a bad take is this isn't Vanderbilt. This isn't the Vanderbilt that everyone knows. This isn't the Vanderbilt that's just a win when the schedule comes out. This is a completely legitimate, dangerous SEC football team. They just happen to be named Vanderbilt. But I think Vanderbilt's success last year had more to do with their scheme and their execution of it on offense than it had to do with Alabama taking them lightly. Now, was Alabama sharp and laser focused? No, and I didn't say that because I think it's a natural reaction the week after you beat Georgia to not be as sharp the next week. But I think it's almost silly to say that Alabama plays a football game that they don't take seriously. I don't think that's the case at all. Football's too physical a game. Nobody goes out there and goes through the motions in a football game against an opponent, a Power 4 opponent. Because when you go through the motions, you know what happens? You get punched in the teeth, and then they step on your face and then kick you where you don't want to be kicked. I mean, that's what happens when you don't take it seriously.
I think what you're trying to say is you get Keanu'd in the coot.
John Wick style.
I don't know why this is so funny. I hope other people are enjoying that as much as
Well, we
I.
said his name on the show for 4 years, and now it's getting laughs in year 5.
But I don't think we've ever just said the last name. We always said
And we always
Keanu
say
Coot. And when you
Keanu.
say it together, Keanu Coot, it sounds like it could be one whole word. And like if you were your friend, you'd make fun of him. And plus, he was on our team.
I
Now
mean,
he's just that
Christine
other
is
team's
good.
Coot. FanDuel. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel has an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bucks. What? If your bet wins. That's right. Just pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. That's that simple. And I mean, this is so easy to pick a winner. You know how to do. I love how FanDuel gives me so many ways to play. I've built parlays, tried player props, and even followed the live lines during the games. So much fun. So what are you waiting for? Like a sucker. Go to visit FanDuel.com to download FanDuel, the app, and do that today and get started with FanDuel.com because Jimmy Stein guarantees that you will love it. Now we're going to talk about Square, if I can find the thing. And there it is. This episode is brought to you by Square, your favorite neighborhood spots. They run on Square. There are certain businesses that make the neighborhood the neighborhood. These are the places that become an extension of home, whether it's the sports bar dedicated to your team's fan base, the spot with the best wings in town for game day, or that beloved local chain that's been rooted in your community for years. These businesses are what bring people together. When neighborhood businesses thrive, the whole neighborhood thrives. Y'all know this. Look, there's a local spot here in my neighborhood that I've been going to forever called JR Sports Bar and Grill. Love them. And that's the kind of place where you walk in and everybody knows your name, because we've been doing a show over there forever. They're just the great people over here in Alexander City. Square is a proud partner of more than 4 million neighborhood businesses around the world. You can go to square.com/go/lockedoncollege. Square.com/go/lockedoncollege to learn more. But before you do, support your favorite neighborhood spot. You'll be happy you did. See you in the neighborhood you square. Some CFP thoughts here, because now we're back in the picture. You and I were like avoiding college football predictions like the plague before Georgia, because we were like, I don't even want to, and because there's nothing worse now. Like if your team's not really like Clemson fan, I can't imagine they go to like bowl projections and it's like they're in the, Tostitos, not Tostito, that'd be something worse. Takis Bowl or whatever. I mean, and when you're used to being in the playoffs, it's a Keanu in the coot. But so Joel Klatt has the most recent one. He's got Ohio State 1. Again, I don't see how that's going to be top. Miami 2, Oregon 3, Texas 4, Texas Tech 5. And I'm not.
Texas winning the SEC is a heck of a take based on what we've seen so far. That's who I picked to win the league too, by the way. But I'm a little shocked to hear a new prediction that has Texas winning the league. I sort of like it though, because boy, it's showing a lot of confidence in Sark and Arch.
Well, I'm not so dang sure they're going to beat Florida this weekend. Of course, I was the moron that picked Arkansas to beat Notre Dame. So what do I know?
I did too.
Texas Tech 5, Ole Miss 6. The Ole Miss story is going to be told in a few weeks when they have back-to-back really difficult games, Oklahoma and Georgia. That's good. I mean, win one of them and
win just one, and that's huge. But I'll call it now. I'll say loss there.
Texas A&M 7.
Good team.
Boy, they're a good team, but they aren't the number 7 team in the country. They may end up being there, but they're not.
Right. Their offense has to improve and gain consistency. But the thing I like about that is I have seen them look good in the pass game and the run game. I've seen it. Yeah. I've seen it. They just hadn't put it all together yet. It may not, but on occasion they're very good throwing it and running it.
And then Bama at 8. And the thing about Bama at 8, we would have Penn State at 9 coming to Tuscaloosa to play in the college football playoff in December at some point. I'm down. I'm here for it. I think that'd be wonderful. I mean, I would prefer it be somebody else, not because I'm scared of Penn State, just because we've done the Penn State and Tuscaloosa thing before. I mean, for me, I would like to see somebody like a Notre Dame who's going to be in Tuscaloosa in a few years, but a Notre Dame or somebody. He's got Notre Dame at 11 and USF at 12. Then just missed. He has Indiana, Michigan, Tennessee, and Oklahoma. It's tough. I mean, projecting this thing is so tough right now. I tell you what, I don't want it to be 8-9 Bama, Georgia. Come on, y'all don't do this to us, committee. Don't do that.
It's funny. We're 7-1, 7-1 against Georgia in the last 8, and we're like, oh, don't.
Well, I mean, it's an old story. If that's the championship game,
I'd rather just play Penn. I think the Penn State storyline will be more interesting, or Notre Dame than another conference game to start the playoff. And we have Georgia in Tuscaloosa frequently, not Penn State, not Notre Dame. So I'm with you. My only comment really about the playoff picture right now is just this. There was a comment last night on SEC Squad that some of the guys agreed with. I'm not totally on board with, and that is, but I like, it was an interesting comment. The interesting comment was, if Alabama beats Vanderbilt, I'm putting them in the playoff, because to me, that means that DeBoer has it figured out. DeBoer has figured out how to win a big game and then just get his team ready, his Alabama team ready to win another game the following week, because that's how last year got screwed up. And if he's figured that out, then Alabama's going to be in the playoff. I disagree, but that's an interesting take. It's an interesting way to look at the Kalen DeBoer era. The reason I don't agree with the take is just simply this. As we sit here today, I can't tell you guys, regardless of outcome against Vanderbilt, I can't tell you guys that I'm going to pick Alabama to beat Missouri just the next week. You're playing another really tough game to win on the road against a team that runs the ball as well as anybody, against a guy I think may be the best running back in all of college football. And you got to go beat them on the road. And they're a confident team that's upset about what happened when they came with a backup quarterback to Tuscaloosa a year ago. So I'm not ready to playoff. Even with the win over Vanderbilt, there's just too many tough games left.
Yep, I'm with you on that. And what we're going to do tomorrow, Jimmy, we're going to post our crossover episode with Locked On Vandy's Corey Burton. It could be you and me. It could be just me and Corey. Not sure about that yet. But and then Friday we'll come back and do our regular show where we do our predictions for the weekend. That cool with you?
Yeah, that'll be the Friday show. That sounds good.
All right. Until then, roll tide, everybody.
Roll tide.